Hello guys, and welcome to another session of tutorial here on my channel. Honestly, for some couple of months I have not been posting due to some challenges and my busy schedule, and I really tender in my apologies for not posting. Alright, so for today's tutorial we're looking at how we can export a floor plan like this in AutoCAD into Revit, which we can model the plan in 3D. Okay, so before we get started with this tutorial, I would like to request that if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notification on my latest video. And if you have been following me, once again I say thank you for stopping by for another session of this tutorial. And with that being said, let's get started with this tutorial. Alright, so here in Autodesk Revit, I have a floor plan which I intend to export into Autodesk Revit, and I am satisfied with everything here just to import this into Autodesk Revit so that I can model this in 3D. So what I have to do is I'll go to File, click on this AutoCAD icon, and I'll go to Save As, and I'll click on Drawings, and I'm going to save this as a DWG file. So this open the Save As dialog box, and I can name this. So I'm going to name this as Revit Plan 2. And from the Files tab here, I make sure that this is set to AutoCAD 2018 drawings in DWG format. Okay, so you can also use DSF, but for the recommended settings it is DWG, since we are exporting this as a drawing. So when that is done, you go ahead and click on Save, and we have this particular floor plan saved as a DWG file. Now the next thing to do is to open Autodesk Revit, launch Autodesk Revit, and start a new drawing. So right away I'm going to jump into Autodesk Revit and start a new drawing environment. So here am I in Autodesk Revit, and this is how the user interface looks like, and you can see basically some sample drawings which I have made recently. And to start a new drawing, I'm going to click on New here, and I have this new project dialog box comes up, and I have to choose the template file which I want to use. So by default you have the Imperial multidiscipline, and if you're working in feet and inches, you can go with the Imperial multidiscipline. But for the purpose of my own design, which I work in millimeters and centimeters, I'm going to choose the metric multidiscipline. And here you have the create new, and make sure that the radio button for project here is being selected, and go ahead and click on OK. And this will take some couple of time for Autodesk Revit to load the user environment and the elements that are needed to carry out your design in Autodesk Revit. Alright, so this is the working environment of Autodesk Revit, and at the top here you have the title of the project you're working on, and then you have the collections of tabs with ribbons and panels having the commands which you can use. And by this other side you have the properties panel, and here you also have the project browser panel, and here you have this white space which is meant for your drawing environment. Alright, now before you import your drawing into your floor plan into Autodesk Revit, the first thing we need to do is to set our unit. And to do that, we're going to type UN on the keyboard, and that will bring up the project unit dialog box. Now unlike AutoCAD where you have to type the the command and press enter, in Autodesk Revit you don't have to press the enter key. Okay, so here is the project unit, and basically if you can look at this, all my settings, all my units are in the required or recommended format which I wanted. So I'm working with millimeters as my length, and all of that is okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. Now the unit is set. The next thing, if necessary, is to set the levels. Okay, assuming let's say we are importing multiple plans into this very particular project, so I have to set my levels. If you look at the project browser, basically by default we have two levels, level 1 and level 2. And if I intend to create additional levels, I'm going to scroll down right here from the project browser, and I'm going to click on the elevations here, and I'll open one of these elevations, and that should be the east elevation. And if I zoom in, you can see the levels which we are working. Level 1 is at 0 and level 2 is at about 3600 millimeters. Now to create additional levels, I'm going to select one of these levels and right click and go to create similar, and that will give me the opportunity of creating a new levels in Autodesk Revit. Okay, so if you have a multiple floor plan to import into Revit, then you also have to create a multiple levels as well, so that you can place your point or place your floor plan at different levels. All right, so again, I'm going to go back to level 1, which is a floor plan, and then the next thing is to import the drawing right now, because my unit is set and the levels are already set. So I'm going to go over straightforward to the Insert tab here at the top of this software, and when I click on that, you can see basically that Autodesk Revit can allow me to link a Revit file or an IFC or a CAD or topography and all of that you can be able to link into Revit. All right, for the purpose of importing the floor plan here, we're going to go with this command which we have here, import CAD. So when I click on import CAD, that will enable me to locate the file. Okay, so when this dialog box comes up, you go ahead and search for where. So here I have my plan saved under AutoCAD, and then we name this floor plan as Revit floor plan or Revit plan 2. And when we click on that, you can see a preview of that plan here by the right side. All right, so and the file name here is floor plan Revit plan 2, and the file type is in DWG format. Okay, so after that, the next thing is the colors. Okay, so by default I've set this to black and white. You could choose to invert the color, you could choose to preserve the color, and you can also choose black and white. Now after the colors, you have the layers, so you can choose to import all the layers or the visible layers, or you can specify some layers which you want to import. And then after that, we have the import unit, and if you click on this, you have different units. Okay, so if you're choosing a specific or a particular unit here, it should that match with the unit of your drawing. Otherwise, you can leave it as auto detect if you're not certain of the unit in your floor plan. So Revit will automatically detect the unit of that particular floor plan. Now after that, you have the positioning. Okay, so when you click on this, you have option of auto center to center, or auto origin to internal origin, or manual origin or manual center. Now because of the format of my drawing, I'm going to go by selecting manual origin, and this will allow me to be able to place this drawing on my canvas manually. Okay, now after the positioning, we have the place at level. So when I click on this, you see that I only have level 1, because initially I have level 1 activated from Autodesk Revit. So this will only comes as level 1. So when you are placing in another level, you make sure that that particular level is activated from Autodesk Revit before you import. And then you also make sure that you have this orient to view checked, and also correct line that are slightly off the axis. All of this should be checked. And when that is done, you go ahead and click on open, and then wait for Revit to load this. And if I drag along the line, you can see that my floor plan is on this other side. So you can see the position of my cursor and the position of the plan. That is to show you the distance between the origin and where this plan is actually located. So I'm going to click on this very particular point to have the floor plan placed in Autodesk Revit. So if I zoom in, you can see the plan which I have in AutoCAD being imported into Autodesk Revit. Now if I click on this, you'll notice this is imported as a one single element or as a block, and I cannot necessarily work with this. So what do? So in case you want to edit some of this, you can go to explode. You have option to explode partially or to explode the full object from Autodesk Revit. But basically, I'm going to leave this as it is. Now the next thing I want to do is to hide some element here. I want to hide the dimensions and maybe the text of this very particular plan. And to do that, I will type VG on my keyboard to open the visibility graphics dialog box. So I'm going to type VG on the keyboard, and this will bring up the visibility graphics dialog box. Now at the top of this, I have the imported categories tab, so I'm going to click on that. And if I come over here, I can adjust here to see the imported layers which I created originally from AutoCAD, and these are all the layers. So I'm going to push this or move this to the side, and what I needed to do is to remove the dimension. So I'm going to click and uncheck the dimension. I'm going to go ahead and click on apply, and you can see that dimensions are off from this drawing. And when you're satisfied, you can go ahead and click on OK. And then I have this plan looking like this in Autodesk Revit. Now when you have this, is serving as a blueprint, or it's serving as an outline where you can be able to draw your plan or draw your walls in Autodesk Revit. So when you're done with this, the next thing you will probably want to do is to start drawing your walls. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Architecture tab, and here I have to click on the walls, and these are the basic walls. These are the walls that I have in AutoCAD or in Autodesk Revit by default. Now for my plan, I had used the dimension of the walls to be 225, so I'm going to choose any of these and click on Edit Type, and this will give me the option of editing the dimension of the wall which I want to use. So first I'm going to click on Duplicate to duplicate the wall, and I'll name that 225, generic 225 millimeter square, and click on OK. And again, I'll go ahead and click on Edit, and from here I can edit the dimension of this very particular wall, and go ahead, click on OK, and click on Apply, and click on OK. Now the walls have been set to 225 millimeters, and at the option bar here at the top, you have to choose whether to draw your walls using wall center line or core center line, or finish face exterior or interior. Now for the purpose of this, I want to draw the walls tracking the center lines of the walls, so I'm going to choose wall center line, and I'm going to activate a chain of walls. So when that is done, I can zoom, and by the time I try to locate the center point of this wall, you can see that I have a blue track showing the center of this wall. So I can click on that and go ahead. I can create my walls like this in Autodesk Revit. So just like this, you can be able to create your wall in Autodesk Revit. So basically, this is how I carry out my drawings in Autodesk Revit. So I make use of AutoCAD to do my rough sketches, and when I'm satisfied, I import the plan just like this into Revit so that I can model the plan and visualize everything in 3D and see how the elements are being placed. All right, let me just go ahead and view that wall which I created in 3D. So I'm going to select default 3D view, and we have this wall. So if I zoom, you can see that this is the 3D wall which I created, and this was the 2D floor plan which I imported from AutoCAD. Alright, so this is how you import a floor plan from AutoCAD into Autodesk Revit for 3D modeling. I hope you like this tutorial. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in my next tutorial.